Right, what's up? Good morning. Episode 72, Coding While Black. Dr. Kai Dupé. I believe today is Saturday, February the 6th, 2022. Remember to hit the like buttons, leave your comments, tell a friend to subscribe. Again, I'm at episode 72. I'm going to drop 100, then I'm done. Whole goal of my YouTube channel here is to leave information that I know about what it took, what it takes to become and to be successful as a software developer out here. And I call it coding while black, right? Kind of a pun, right? Play on words, driving while black, living while black, shopping while black. What's it like to be a black person coding, right? I'm targeting developers. However, today being February 6th, being February, or February 5th, I should say, and being the month of February, I'm not going to talk about that per se. I'm going to drop a little bit of something here that's been on my mind about Black History Month. Now, I've been a Black History buff for 2 decades. It is what freed me from a certain kind of thinking. I've recorded about it before, how I learned about Black history. That gave me the confidence I needed to overcome things like imposter syndrome and stereotype threat. I was very successful doing that, and it still helps me to this day, although it's a different climate. What's on my mind right now about Black History Month is the manner in which it's being somewhat co-opted and redirected. And what I mean by that is Black History Month now, and everybody's putting up, imagery and graphics. We support Black history, celebrating Black history. But it's a lot of comments like Black history is American history. And all the commercials you see, the contributions of African Americans to America. It's like they're changing the focus, right? The centrality or the centerpiece now is America again, right? And that's fine. It's fine that Black history is American history. It certainly is, which we never admitted that before. And it's also good that Black history is that we recognize the contributions that African Americans have made to this country. But Black history is not called African American history, and it's called Black history for a reason. And the reason is Black people are not limited to America. Okay, that's number one. That's kind of slick. We're not related, or we're not relegated to simply America. Africans are all over the diaspora, to include Africa, of course, right? Not to mention the fact that ancient history, right? Our contributions are not limited to America. Our contributions are worldwide, right? And I don't want to get into what the contributions are because I'd be talking all day. But to give you a couple, Egypt, ancient Africa. You can call it the Middle East if you want to. That's another game that they run. Egypt is in Africa. The word Egypt comes from the Greek aiguptos, which means burnt face or black face. Okay, so there's no argument in science about who those people were. And then this other thing about the contributions of African Americans to American history. And they'll put stuff up like this person discovered this, and this person invented that, and this person was the first person this person was the first person that. That's just a history of oppression. That's a history of us overcoming racism, right? And that's a part of Black history, but my problem with it is not the most important part of Black history. We also want to look at, when we talk about me focusing on not just the contributions, we want to look at, when I say Black history is American history, I mean American history. American history needs to be inclusive of Black history, not their contributions, but what America was towards Black people. That's the history that should be told. When we're out here being told to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and why can't we just get over slavery, that comes out of the ignorance of not teaching the truth, of not teaching true American history, which is that Black part, right? That oppressive part, segregation, racism, Jim Crow, Black codes, indentured servants, redlining, all the things that put us in the positions that we are in America right now that we're trying to overcome, like the wealth gap, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No one's talking about that when they talk about Black history. When they say Black history is American history, they're not talking about that. They're talking about athletes, actors, and Carter G. Woodson. And I'm okay with Carter G. Woodson, but again, There's much, much more. We should be way deeper than that when we talk about Black history, and not just the contributions and Black history is American history. We got, you know, these themes. We're Black history every day, and you know, every day I'm making Black history, meaning, you know, as a Black person, you're living and everything you do is history. Well, of course, right? That goes for the entire planet. Okay, that was not what Black history was about. That was not the focus of Black history. You want to go back and read the history, go back and read Carter G. Woodson, go back and read The Miseducation of the Negro, learn about Negro History Week, learn about how and why Black history became the month of February, so we can stop with the jokes about white folks gave us the shortest month, indicating your ignorance of your own history. Okay? I'm not going to tell you the answer because I want you to go and find out for yourself. But you can't be out here and expect to be successful without knowing who you are. And that's what Black history is all about. Learning who you are and the situation that your ancestors were in and how that relates to your life today in 2022. When you see some of these things that are going on, they tie directly back to the story of America, right? And you're either going to deal with the truth or you're not. And anything other than that is putting a label of Black history, but you're not really dealing with Black history, all right? So I had to get that off my chest today. I wanted to say it so much, I wouldn't even wait until I went to the barbershop and got my beard tightened up because I didn't want to forget anything that I wanted to mention. Get into Black history, real Black history. If you want to know who those authors are and where you can find that information beyond Wikipedia and, you know, watching a movie, I can certainly provide a list. I've been providing a list of resources for decades. And I'm talking about some real heavy hitters, not these Johnny-come-lately folks of the day, which they're fine too, but all they're doing is pulling from the folks that I read 20 years ago. There's no new research, all right? But there is new research, but what I'm saying is there's no new history. That's what I wanted to say, right? So think about that. Once again, Dr. Kai Dupé, Coding While Black, episode 72. Peace.